This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
So Frank Warren, the UK-based promoter for Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, the WBC and Ring Magazine heavyweight champion of the world, well, he spoke to Good Morning Britain. For those of you outside the UK, if you're unaware what Good Morning Britain is, it's one of the biggest platforms, TV shows here in the UK, happens weekday mornings, maybe happens on weekends as well. I don't know, I don't really watch myself, but it's a very, very popular program where they have guests on that talk about all topics from not only here in the UK, but around the world. But anyway, Frank Warren was on that show to speak about Undisputed between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. And this is what Frank Warren had to say. We have no problem with that fight. We signed a non-disclosure agreement with a country that is hopefully about to make an offer, and we have no problem with it. Tyson wants to fight, but I don't think the other side do. It's just lip service. We want to get it on, and the British public want to see it. But I've got a feeling in my bones, and I'm hearing behind the scenes, that they don't really want the fight. That's Frank Warren's statement. So he's using that platform of Good Morning Britain, which is one of the biggest viewed shows here in the UK each and every morning, to put across that him and Fury want the fight, Eddie Hearn, Joshua don't. So he wants the British public to go, well, they really want the fight, but Eddie Hearn, Joshua, what? You're stopping the fight? Why don't you want this fight? That's what he's hoping for. He's hoping for that kind of reaction. Now, you would think that after everything that's been going on with this whole epidemic that's been going on around the world, that people will come out of this whole situation better people. But he still wants to revert to snarly little digs, trying to put down and have little squabbles with Matchroom because he doesn't like Eddie Hearn. There's no need for it, but clearly he hasn't learned anything from this whole epidemic. He's going to continue as they were, okay? Is what it is. If you don't like Eddie Hearn, you don't like him, that's fine. But the non-disclosure agreement from a country that will hopefully make an offer for Fury and Joshua. So a country has not made an offer. So what exactly are you signing that you can't disclose? So a country approached Frank Warren, Bob Arum, Tyson Fury, MTK, whoever, and said, we're thinking about making an offer. We'd love to have that fight here in the UK, but can you sign this non-disclosure agreement to say that you can't talk about it, but just for our record to say that we have approached you about the possibility that we may or may not make an offer? Surely you're tempted to jog on, right? What exactly are you signing? Has Eddie Hearn, Joshua, have they signed this non-disclosure agreement also? If they have, then that will tell me that when Frank Warren is talking about how they don't want the fight, well, if Joshua, Eddie Hearn and whatever have signed, then that will tell me that they do want the fight. So why have they signed but if they don't want the fight? That doesn't make any kind of sense. So Frank Warren, he's been a little two-faced here. But if Joshua and Eddie Hearn have not signed this non-disclosure agreement and only Fury and Warren and that have, then why are you signing something without the other party involved? You do know that you need Joshua and Fury to both agree terms for this fight to happen. You are aware of that. So that's only one of two things, isn't it? You're either signing something without Joshua and without Joshua and Eddie Hearn signing it too. So therefore, why are you signing it? And second of all, if Joshua has signed it, then clearly they want the fight. So what are you talking about? Doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So can somebody please explain to me in the comment section, what exactly is it that Frank Warren's talking about by signing a non-disclosure agreement with a country that has not made an offer? I can't get my head around that point. Now, when he says that this is the fight that the British public want to see, he's absolutely correct. Could be one of the biggest fights in the history of boxing, certainly in Britain. But the public want to see it here in the UK. Okay, we don't care how much Fury's earning or Anthony Joshua's earning. All we do know is that if the fight did happen here in the UK, whether it be Wembley, Old Trafford, Twickenham, wherever it may be, they're going to be earning millions upon millions anyway. We've never had two champions come together on UK soil for Undisputed, let alone two British champions fighting. So this is a legacy fight. Could be the only time that it ever happens, ever. And you've got a golden opportunity here to have it here in the UK, and you don't want to do it because there's more money to be made outside the UK. Now, I wouldn't mind ordinarily. I mean, at the end of the day, if the choice was the fight only happens outside the UK or not at all, of course, we're going to go, you know what, go outside the UK, we're not happy about it, but you know what, go do what you got to do. That's fine. But while their purses are not a problem, and yes, it is prize fighting, the idea is to earn as much money as you possibly can, whether that they've already got millions upon millions in their bank accounts anyway is kind of irrelevant. at that kind of point, isn't it? We don't know what their financial situation is. They may earn a whole crap load of money, but maybe they squander it. We don't know. But they're definitely going to be having 2 fights, aren't they? Both sides, both camps are going to want a rematch clause. So they're going to be having back-to-back fights anyway. So what's the problem with the first one being in the UK for millions upon millions each, and then go fight the rematch for millions upon billions and trillions and gazillions? Wherever it may be in the world. And not the first fight happens in the UK, that's a British perspective. So when Frank Warren says that the British public want to see it, every time Frank Warren speaks, he always talks about it's the fans, got to give the fans what they want. The British fans, it's all about the fans. We don't care about the Yanks, it's all about the fans. This is what Frank Warren says. Okay, so if it's all about the British fans, then put the damn fight on here in the UK. Surely. But again, if this fight doesn't happen in the UK and it happens abroad, don't make sure I never, ever hear you, Frank Warren, again talking about what the British fans want. Because clearly it's all about the money for you and it ain't about the fans. I don't know who it is you're trying to con here. Now, to say that they don't want the fight, as in Joshua don't want the fight, is madness. So if they have signed this non-disclosure agreement anyway, then that will show you that they do want the fight, okay? But again, even if they don't, either way, Frank, you're going to have to be working with Eddie Hearn. So if Fury does get past Wilder again, of course you would favour him. If Joshua does get past Pulev, of course you would favour him. Let's not forget that should Dillian Whyte get past Alexander Povetkin, he's also in the mix. So Frank, you're going to have to be working with Eddie Hearn anyway. So if all 3 of these fighters win, Tyson Fury has nowhere else to go, other than maybe become a franchise champion or vacate the belt. Either way, franchise or vacating the belt means he ain't interested in Undisputed. That's really going to piss me off, to be honest with you, it really would. But either way, if he's keeping the belt, he's going to have to go through and fight Dillian Whyte. I would love to see that fight. So I'm happy whether he fights Dillian Whyte or Anthony Joshua. I'm happy with that because it's still all Brits. Either way, we'll get Undisputed at some point. So my point is that, Frank, you having a go and saying how Eddie Hearn don't want this fight and keep on putting down Eddie Hearn. You do know that Eddie Hearn, you do know what he's like, right? He will try and make the whole press conference, whether it's Whyte versus Fury or Joshua versus Fury, Eddie Hearn will try and make this whole press conference, this whole event about Hearn versus Warren. He's already done it with David Higgins. He's done it with some other people as well. He wants to add a bit more spice to it. So Frank Warren, what you're doing here is giving him ammunition. You really need to think about this. You really do. So either way, you're going to have to be working with Eddie Hearn anyway, whether it's Dillian Whyte or Anthony Joshua. So if they don't want the fight and he ends up having to fight Dillian Whyte, I'm happy. All right? I'm cool. No matter how you look at it, I'm perfectly cool. Now, going back onto this non-disclosure agreement, can somebody please explain to me, if no country's putting an offer, then what exactly are they signing? And if Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua have not signed it, then why are they signing it? If they have signed it, then that will show that Joshua and Hearn do want the fight. But there again, why would they not want the fight? With these 2 back-to-back fights, this is more money from 2 events that they would ever make anywhere else. Of course they'll take it. And for Undisputed, hey, I don't think that they're too worried about winning or losing at that point. They'll be thinking about the money. Surely to God. But of course, Joshua, he will go in there fully confident that he's going to beat Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury will go in there fully confident he's going to beat Anthony Joshua. This video is not about who would win who. I'm not interested in the whole, well, he's number 1 and he's number 1. I couldn't care less. Get them both in the damn ring and let's find out. I support both of these guys equally. Get in the ring and find out. Simple, isn't it? Very, very simple. Anyway, non-disclosure agreement, my arse. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all in the next video.